This is standard, right? Void, am I right about that? Just confirm, please. So we're analyzing Void's game. Here we go. Yeah, standard, okay. All right, let's check it out. Which side was Void? Was this Void's game? That's what I want to know. All right, let's see this. Okay. Knight h3 is the opener. Already off to quite a start. All right, not unheard of. But, you know, prevent... Oh, I guess this is turn 1.5, which I really haven't played. So I don't have a very good intuition about like what you have to worry about and what not. I mean, at the end of the day, this still defends against... Like, it allows f7 sacks, but this knight is defending f7, or f2, I guess. So, you know, if black does, like, black is... If black jumps to this board, it's like, you know, kind of big deal. It's like not a big deal, right? Knight f6 was played, which I think is reasonable. That's a sensible move. All right. The notation is weird because it's... Like, it says d2, d4. It's kind of obvious, though, that, you know, d4 is unambiguous. Okay. d4, d5. Interesting. This is basically the same, similar London system to what we're... I guess chess in 5D didn't break with it. Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, why bother playing turn 1.5 if you're going to do all of the standard opening moves anyway, like for turn 0? Let's keep it going. All right, Alex Bay linked the chess in 5D game, but we're gonna go through it by hand anyway, which Void seems to prefer, so that's fantastic. It's a little hard to read the notation, but okay. Next we have c3, which makes sense, covering the triagonal, etc., etc. Nothing to see so far. I mean, this is like the only thing weird about this is this knight here. Which, I mean, you could probably even play in turn 0. It's just a knight on the rim is a sad knight in 5D chess as well as classical, right? So that's the only novelty so far. Okay, knight c6. Moving along. Okay, here g3 is played. So, okay, first of all, we have a somewhat interesting position. I mean, these two decisions, this is an interesting decision, but like people, especially Andre in the early days of the d4, d5 setups, preferred, not that he said it was better, but he preferred the knight covering the triagonal instead of the pawn. I don't like that so much, just because, I mean, this knight, like this, it seems like this is nice because it does a good job of blocking the triagonal and also developing the knight, but the issue is that this knight can't really do very much because you know, obviously it's performing both duties at once, right? So I don't know how I feel about this. Let's just move on. Nothing interesting's happened yet. Now we get a frappuccino going. Oh, okay, first ballsy move of the game is e5 here, which seems ludicrous. e5 seems nuts. I mean, it's kind of obvious why. There's the immediate, like, if pawn takes, like I just said, I mean, not that... If you close the diagonal with c6, then obviously there's nothing defending e5 anyway, and it's hanging. So the issue here is... If takes and takes, then you've reopened this triagonal and you just like immediately lose. So it doesn't seem fantastic. You don't immediately lose, to be fair. Do you? This and then this and then this, and then you can't close up. You can't close the door. Check out Andre's channel. I think knight h3 is useful if you want to play e3, work toward making some aggressive knight side attacks. It's an option. I think that the cons outweigh the pros generally. I wouldn't be surprised if there are traps here. You should look at the game Los versus Right and Wrong, where Right and Wrong was white, if you get the chance to met. I mean, if someone wants to redeem that as a channel points reward, then absolutely. I guess now, retrospectively, everybody in the chat being subbed is actually a bit of an issue because it kind of snowballs because everyone gets channel points quicker. I'm just saying to look at it if he wants. It was wild. I might check it out. If e3 was played already, you'd actually lose, because then queen a4 and then bishop e5 mate. Yeah, no, exactly. If e3 was played already, then yes. Like if take knight takes, then queen check here, and then you close the door. That's the term coined by Andre, where this would be mate, and the only way to do it is to like threaten to capture the queen the next turn, and then you place a piece in the middle, so that's no longer possible. But like this is probably not possible and immediately losing. Yeah. But even so, this is an issue because it's forcing, okay, I mean, take this and then you recapture, right? And the issue is that white is required to make a move that closes, or black is required to make a move that closes the triagonal. So then white can generate a threat that black doesn't have the capability of answering. It could be something simple like bishop out here, right? So I'm thinking take, knight takes, bishop here. Now you're threatening two mates at the same time. You're threatening bishop takes here, which is mate, and you're threatening queen out here, which is mate. So this seems bad. I'd say bishop f4, not f4, Romad. Am I wrong about that? I think that that's probably the better play. Anyway, this is what happens in the game. Let's see how this goes. Bishop g2 happens. We get a frappuccino here. I mean, I respect a man. I respect a man who's got a plan and who sticks to it. The thing is, the way that you punish an e4 push is to load up. The reason that e4 and e5 are so, you know, like play with extreme caution is obviously that if the pawn can be threatened, then the only thing blocking the file in front of the king has to be another piece, or you have to move the king, both of which either lock up a piece or cost tempo, right? So not great. So I think that this is a big missed opportunity, not immediately punishing this idea, because now, I don't know, something like bishop out here kind of defends, right? I mean, here, what you're doing is threatening a piece that's already defended twice. And I generally, in these positions, I mean, not that a queenside fianchetto is useful because of the billion pawns that are in the way, but in general, I think that that frappuccino is much better than the other frappuccino, especially because in situations like this, where you've got like a pseudo King's Indian setup, it's not fantastic in 5D chess because I find that it's kind of easy to load your pieces up on the queen side, castle that way, or even not, don't castle, like load your pieces up on the king side and then just push pawns and then like critique the king side like that. So I don't know, it's easier to break King's Indian type situations in 5D than in 2D. Anyway, this was played. We get the frappuccino. Then we have bishop d6, which is exactly what I said. Redefending this pawn, which, you know, I mean, this is still a sketchy move, don't get me wrong. Because it's still, like, what does this pawn even do? Like, what's the idea of this pawn? I mean, yeah, like, if you take here, then you open up the queen side, it's true. But I don't think you win before white wins, because they don't have to address... Black doesn't, like, white doesn't have to address the fact that you're breaking open the queen side if they can just threaten, like, winning the game first, right? So, like, takes here happens, you open up the file, and then you go queen here or something, and it's not like they can take here and, like, break open the queen side in that way. I don't know. But, I mean, what, this is, like, the move that doesn't lose, right? Something like that. Okay, so this happens. Bishop d6 happens, and then bishop g5 happens, pinning the knight to the queen, which I think is fine. Now that bishop d6 has happened, obviously the queen is cut off from the d5 bishop, or sorry, from the d5 pawn, so the only defender is this knight. So, I mean, I guess what you've done here is recognize that the support you've critiqued this position by challenging the support structure of the other pawn, which, to be fair, does take advantage of the fact that there's a knight here instead of c6, but at the same time is kind of like a weird roundabout way of doing that, right? Like attacking e4 head on immediately makes more sense to me, but there is like a method to the madness here, right? Actually, this new playlist is kind of weird, but that one track was cool. I never liked the music on stream. I find lo-fi, first of all, there's the most DMCA free music, or copyright free music of lo-fi. I find, like, for streams and stuff, people make like 12-hour compilations of it, so that's why it's just the easiest copyright free music. But I also think that it's pretty inoffensive. Like, I think that it's hard to get mad at it. So this pin happens. What we've done here is kick the one attacker, or sorry, the one remaining defender of the d5 bishop now that the queen is cut off. So then we can get in here, and if we're taking space in the center and attacking f7, then that's fantastic. So I don't think it's the best. Now it's just like transition. I used to not like music on stream nor lo-fi, but now it's just tradition. Yeah. Royalty free BB. I like it. Hell yeah, man. Yeah, I heard Stargord using the Stream Beats playlist from Harris Heller. Yeah, that's the one. I've memorized like all 300 songs on that playlist. I've just played it so much on stream. Okay. The situation's getting spicy. This is a threat that Black has to answer. And it's difficult to know what the best way of doing that. Honestly, the answer might be something like bishop e6, adding a defender to this bishop, blocking the f7 and also the e file, right? So that if trades and takes here, I mean, on the one hand, that's not the end of the world for Black. I mean, it's scary, but you've opened up the file. If you play bishop out here, then all you have to do is mobilize your queen, probably on this file, and then you get a queenside castle, which actually isn't great. There are anti-castle strats that beat that. So you probably have to play something like b6 before. But here, I don't know. Bishop e6 seems fine. I mean, it adds a defender, and like g takes f5 isn't the worst in the world. Probably if this happens and then this trade happens, I guess you just recapture with the queen. You don't even mess with your structure. And then that, I wouldn't say it looks scary for white, but I don't know. I'd have to think about it. The thing is that this bishop is also here. So there are ideas. I don't know. Let's just see how this game plays out here. Let's see. Where was I? H6 is played kicking the bishop. H6 is played kicking the bishop. Makes sense, but after this trade happens, bishop takes, queen recapture, this pawn goes down, and it's staring down f7, which there isn't like a super clear, concise road to f7 for white. But taking down the d pawn and then this e pawn is under scrutiny. Seems dangerous for Black, needless to say. What actually happens here next? Okay, so the idea is that this knight is pinned. This move pins the knight, so it's kind of out of order. Maybe better this way, right? Maybe not better this way. I don't know. So, okay, what happened in game is that bishop takes d5 happened immediately. Obviously, the knight on f6 can't take back because it's pinned by this bishop to the queen. A move here like e6 is probably what we want. Here you win the pawn. It's pretty good. Probably this is the move. Right? And then you drop the bishop back. And you just want to... Well, no, you can't drop the bishop back immediately. You probably trade here. Do I like d takes, or bishop takes d5 here immediately? I guess allowing this queen... I find, like, every single one of these positions, I find myself wishing that e3 had been played, so that after this trade, this queen can come out here and immediately travel. But maybe there isn't actually a way to prevent that anyway. When you've got... You love to have a piece staring down the f knight, because a lot of the times you get nifty travels if you trade here, right? Takes here... Bishop comes out here versus trades here, queen comes out, bishop takes. Ice is better. I don't know how I feel about this. Let's see. I was playing white in this game. Okay. Word. What does Andre say? It's just a sound of Sumet's stream. Would never believe that playlist had like 300 songs. Dude, it's like 350 songs or something crazy. I mean, might as well keep rocking that e-pawn up to e4. I mean, at this point, I think bishop e6, you know, in for a penny, in for a pound. I think bishop e6 defend quite well, at least for the moment. That's what I think after this move. h6 is definitely too optimistic. Yeah, okay, Romat agrees. Bishop e6 and then queen d7 for black. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. There is Sumet. He's there. By the way, I'm going to check out Star Wars YouTube tomorrow. Always like more 5D content. You definitely should. Yeah, give him a look. He's doing some great work over there. Definitely support Gord's channel. Bishop takes d5 looks cool. Not sure if it's good, but cool. Andre found my move cool. Not good, but cool. Sumet found it first. Probably had like 10 songs and then copy pasted them. Something like that. Okay. I mean, let's move along. Bishop takes d5 happens. Then h6g. Okay, so h takes g5 happens. H takes g5 is big yikes. Big yikes. Okay, so what white's done here is generated... Okay, I mean, at the most, one of the things that you learn really early on in terms of your, like, reorienting your brain to analyze 5D chess positions is that you have to take every single board that happens throughout the game. You have to consider not only like future threats for your opponent and 2D threats on the board, but also consider what platform am I providing for my opponent to launch an attack, like on board, right? So like, as soon as it's not enough. A move like this seems innocuous because there isn't anything too crazy that you can do on board. I mean, there is a lot of spooky stuff, like bishop takes here, takes, and then check here. You know, again, if e3, that's like super yikes. But as black here, as soon as you have a piece looking at f7, your opponent does, you have to think, okay, what I don't want to allow is... I don't want to give my opponent a board where there's a piece defending f7, right? I mean, it's going to sound, for people with experience, you know, that's going to seem somewhat obvious, because you're giving your opponent a platform for time travel, even if it's not clear how that time travel happens. You know, pieces are mobile, they're flexible in 5D chess, so there's always a way. Okay, I definitely prefer bishop e6 here, for sure, as black, because you're threatening this bishop anyway. Man, especially with this, like the fact that you takes and this knight can recapture, this seems like a nightmare. This seems like a nightmare for black. This is what happens. This is what happens on the board. Bishop takes f7. Very nice. Okay, fantastic. Guns out. This is what we like. This is what you like to see. Uh, yeah, also here, even without time travel, it feels bad for black. You're right. You're right. I'm just saying that there's like the initial check. There's like the radar that you should always be on the lookout for, right? If pieces threatening squares on your board, take it more seriously. It's like even more reason to nip that sort of in the bud, right? Check this out, man. I mean, this is like must take, right? Because can't move. Otherwise, basically, there's mate. There's pretty much mate for white. I mean, I guess this could happen. I don't know what the play is there. This looks disastrous already. I mean, especially if something like queen up here. If black is blocking... Oh, queen up here is mate if this, right? If king d7 happens, then it blocks off the bishop diagonal here. So then you do this, and next turn this bishop is threatening mate here. Actually, maybe that's just mate. I don't even know. Let's say that you can block, because I haven't thought about it. Then you threaten so many things. You can check here, and then with this move, threaten... Yeah, if you block... If you don't... If the king goes here and queen goes up here, then you have to deal with this, and then next turn this is mate. And if this happens to defend this square and block this, then this is mate, because the king is here and this queen is here. Anyway, it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. I think that this is definitely best move. This is like... I mean, this is a super gunsat move. Like, you've got the immediate check to follow it up. If takes... and then you activate your queen, and then it's like a nightmare even without any time travels, just like on the board. I mean, this is... Yeah, black is crying right now. They should be very afraid. Okay. King takes f7 happens. I mean, it's like it's the only move that doesn't lose on the spot. It's the only move that doesn't lose on the spot. The very, very natural follow-up is immediately check the king. That's probably what I'd do as well. This is problematic. Okay, so now we have to form the mating net in 5D. What's fantastic about this position... Okay, again, this goes back to the e4 push, or the e5 push that happened earlier, right? The e5 push has happened. Now that we've forced the king onto f7, look at all of the threats that black has to contend with at the same time. First of all, even without... There are two triagonals that the black king has to worry about, and neither of them are very far off of, like, for white to make it to, basically. We deliver a check here onto this king. Queen d3 gives us access in like just a few turns to a mate, either on g6 or on c4. The fact that this e-pawn is open, you know, you put your king in a bad position, and a lot of the time in a situation like this, you know, the idea is that white tries to generate a brief, like, triagonal path in order to catch up to the king, right? And usually it's not worth it to do this blindly in most positions, because it's only one triagonal or diagonal, and then black can play a move, like play the necessary move to get around that, right? In this case, there's a knight on f6, so it's not like not the most difficult thing for white to play, you know, like e3, but then like the king moves back to, I don't know, f8 or something, and then this triagonal is actually covered, and black like runs out of time. White runs out of time to mate it, while this knight is still preventing the mating, is defending against the mating square for white, right? Anyway, my point is this. The fact that this e4 push happened means that there are two triagonals to defend at once, and this is how you lose a game of 5D chess, is that you give your opponent too many triagonals or diagonals and you can't cover them all up in time, and then you lose the game. So this check is fantastic. So now there's this triagonal and this triagonal that the black king has to worry about. And we've got a knight here, and no matter where this king moves, basically you're going to be able to deliver another check with this knight. And so that'll buy you turns, and then queen b3 is just mate, right? So let's see. The king is here. So after this check, which occurs, the king moves to f8, which makes sense. It gets out of off of the light squares, which are all like uncovered, right? So now king here, this square is now a mating square. And then after another check, this square is going to be a mating square. So black's in trouble. Black's in trouble. I wonder if the best move here is to... What you don't want to do is give black the opportunity... Let me think. What's really nice for white is that this queen is on a dark square. If it was on a light square, that might actually be an issue. I think this is really hard to say. Also, this rook is guarding here as well. I mean, that's important to catch. I think after queen check here, let me see. Are there ideas where... Can you go b3 here now and then travel to f7 where it's defended by this bishop, maybe? Does it work that way? Let me think. Here on this board, here on this board, here on this board. No, you can't do that because this pawn is 2 turns away from this. So you'd have to go here. Oh no, wait, you can do that. So it's not next turn. Hold on. If you deliver a check and then bishop here, and then you can travel to here on this board. Am I right about that? Can you set up the forced travel? Yeah, because then it's here on this board. No, sorry. It's here on this board, here on this board, here on this board. That's one path forward, right? Deliver a check here, queen b3, and then travel to here on this board. And that's mate. After king e8, queen b3 is first is more accurate, I think. You might be right. It threatens 2d mate on f7. Feels winning for white anyway. Knight d5. Yeah, the problem with queen b3 right now is that, well, no, there isn't really an answer, is there? Okay, so what Andre is mentioning is he's got a great point here. You threaten mate on f7 with queen b3, 2d mate, also 5d mate, and shoving a piece in the way, like Neith suggested, or like Mage suggested with knight d5, the queen just captures and threatens it anyway, and then you've got to time travel to f7 as well. Like if here, then knight d5, then takes, and then you time travel to here on this board with the queen to this very board that I'm looking at now. If you're eating the knight there, knight a5 at some point, that will defend b3. Knight d5 opens the f file. That's a very good point. All roads lead to mate. This is one of those positions where, you know, you're looking for the optimal play. Yeah, it doesn't look good for black anyways. No doubt, no doubt. I think I probably give a check here, because then queen out here gives you a travel to this board. And no black piece can actually travel that far. I guess black could set up a Jurassic. Right? Here would be really nice if this was checked, but this king hasn't been here for enough turns. Because then takes, and then this would be check, and then black wouldn't be able to set up a Jurassic rook and deal with the check at the same time, but knight here doesn't deliver check this turn, it delivers check next turn. Yo, busy in here today? Poison, it was a lot busier earlier. We had, for the first like 3 hours of stream, we had 20 plus viewers. It was awesome. How's it going? How you doing, Poison? Right now we're reviewing a game before I put, you're just in time for my match against Romad. We're gonna play our league match right after this. We see Mate in 3 here, look for better. Hey guys, hey, C252's here. How's it going? Everybody welcoming Poison. Okay. I don't know, let me know if anyone can find better, but knight check here moves, or you know, knight check here takes, queen here, and then prepares a Jurassic rook, and then you get soft mate on turn 8 is the best that I can find. Maybe it's not optimal, I don't know. Knight h7, queen b3, c4. Knight h7 takes, queen b3. Oh, c4 is mate, 2D mate. Oh, fantastic. Okay, yeah, that's probably the winning play, right? Here takes, here, I didn't actually calculate that. Okay, so here, and then here would hit here on this board, here on this board, and then, wait, no, knight here takes, queen here. Oh, right, because this, actually crazily, no, that doesn't work. Knight check, knight check here, and then king here actually enables, if queen here, then bishop out here. Which, and I think black survives? Am I crazy? If you don't do the travel, c4 becomes not an option if bishop out here and it's defended. After queen b3, knight a5. Yes. Knight a5. Very well put. Yeah. That's much better than what I was saying. So here takes and then threatens, and then knight a5 covers both of these squares. This square is covered by this knight, and so you have to travel. Is it better than that? Pretty good. Just finished up my semester. Congrats. Very well done. You had a well-earned break. Take it easy now. I got the new Subnautica. Also helped friends on a Twitch Minecraft server. Awesome. I haven't played. I didn't get to put enough times into the original Subnautica. Fantastic game. It just wasn't. I just couldn't make it happen. Actually, IK if you need c4. If they block with bishop, though, c4 wins. Yeah, that's a good point. If they block with bishop, then c4 wins. So knight here is the response, not the bishop move that I said earlier. Shutting the door, like we talked about earlier, right? So very busy. Very productive, though. Good stuff, Poison. Very busy indeed. Hope your friends liked your Minecraft help. Poison, you missed the bronze games? Yeah, we got new channel points rewards, Poison. And Sonoy was the first one to challenge me, and he won. Also, there's a banned word. I'm not allowed to say a certain word that I've already said accidentally twice. So I've had to gift 3 subs this stream. Gotta practice checking squares, Samet. You're not even wrong, Andre. Maybe travel is good enough. I don't want to calculate that. All right, well, gotta ban this bot. No one type in chat because I'm gonna accidentally ban you. Why can't I ban on? Oh, there we go. Okay, I found a way to do it that's safe. I can actually right click or left click on this interface and then ban people without any danger of accidentally, collateral damage, like what happened to Void a few streams ago. C4 is in explosives, yeah. All right, I banned the bot. Okay. Let's get back. Let's get to the end here. I think that's the best move is the travel. It allows for a Jurassic, but you're not upset. You're not upset with that. Okay, listen. What actually happens here? We get King F8, knight H7 check. That's the move that we had highlighted. Fantastic. I think it's best move. So Void, you've crafted the mating net well. Let's see what happens here. Rook captures. I think that's the only move. I mean, obviously, you don't want to open up that file. The move plays itself, right? So that's not an issue. E5. Hey, E5. Isn't E5 a bit of a problem? Okay, E5 is preemptively closing the door, right? Okay, E5 was... Oh, E5. I'm sorry. I thought D5, closing the door and then preparing this. But that loses to this. Here's an idea. It's a little too late, though. E5 was played. E5 is good. It forks these two pieces. It prepares... I don't know if that's that much of a problem. I don't know about D takes E5 here. I don't know about D takes E5 here, and the issue is that if your opponent finds knight A5, then you no longer have the mate, right? Because after this, knight A5 happens, and if you recapture here and queen takes, or you recapture here and then queen takes, and you don't have queen b3 mate anymore. So I'm not sure that this is optimal. Yeah, now queen b3 can be prevented, right? Yeah. Imagine a bot coming and getting a random gift sub. I'd be so mad. I'd be so mad. Knight a5 or bishop e6. That's true. Bishop e6 is better. It activates this bishop. Bishop e6 is better here because you don't do it in response to queen b3, and then whichever one of these pieces gets taken by this pawn, the queen recaptures, and now actually black is looking scary. Yeah. This is spooky. Very well done, Romad. Romad is just here to steal your strats. Oof. Excuse me. Okay. Damn. Yeah, wow. Okay. I mean, listen. It's still tricky. Black is so... I wouldn't say that black is stable. Black's probably stable. I don't know, but you in positions like this, once you've sacrificed so much material and tempo, you really don't want... I mean, you want to avoid giving your opponent any chance at coming back, right? Let's see. Is there still a travel that white can do after this happens? Probably not, because this pawn is blocking this queen in forever, right? Yikes. Okay. I think you probably got away with something here, Void. All right, so this is what happened. We're rounding out the game here. Opponent doesn't see it. Opponent doesn't see it. Knight takes e5, and then obviously queen b3 is mate. So let's just play it out. And I mean, I can't blame him because that happened so long ago, and it, you know, if you go back, well, okay, there haven't been any pieces in the way. I guess black's got a lot to worry about. Maybe there was time pressure as well, and I wouldn't blame him, but I mean, it was only here for a turn, but like, as soon as you, like, there's no such thing as a free bishop. You know what I mean? There's no free lunch, there's no free bishop. If your opponent sacrifices this bishop here, then, I mean, if you're giving him any amount of respect at all, you have to be really cognizant of the fact that in exchange for the free piece, well, you know, trade for pawn, but whatever, you generate weaknesses in your position, and so you have to, like, tie up those loose ends. That's just how the game works. So, I mean, you better believe that anytime I've got a piece on my opponent's board that's got 2 triagonals open, until we've completely buried, you know, all of the leads, all of the roads that lead to that king, you can't sleep at night. You just can't. You have to keep. I mean, there's the second piece too. Like, what did black expect here? My opponent's getting desperate. Just throw, you know? No, I mean, this was really irresponsible. This was irresponsible by black. Completely preventable. This was unforced, which is a shame. But, I mean, the here's what I'll say. Let's finish out this game. All right, white wins. GG. Beautiful, beautiful triagonal mate. Cognizant. Oh, cognizant. Cognizant means to be like aware of, to be like actively in your mind aware of. That's what it means. Okay, let's do a quick review of this game. We broke down all of the tactics really quick. So we had the h3, which is possible. There are maybe some tricksy lines, but I'm not convinced that this is necessarily, you know, especially this was turn 1.5. We got like a classic d4, d5 system, even though it was turn 1.5. So, but I mean, play what you know, I guess. h3 here, I'm not convinced that the pros outweigh the cons. I mean, in general, I don't think that it's an issue. I don't think that you actually have to be afraid of something like, I mean, you have to be worried about an f7 sack, and if this bishop can so easily trade off this knight, I mean, you do get positionally compensated by opening up this g file, but, and this is the piece that's most likely to sack onto f2 anyway, but once the defender of f2 is gone, you know, you have to be kind of careful, right? You've got to like push this. You've got to get your piece, you know, maybe like bishop e3 or something like that. I don't know. I'm not a big fan, but whatever. Frappuccinoing the kingside bishop again. The game plan here was clear, right? I think that you could have definitely collapsed on e5 here, like directly. I think that immediate captures, and then bishop out, threatening like 2 mates at the same time, the triagonal mate and the diagonal mate, was probably winning on the spot. I don't know how your opponent avoids that. But the game plan of your opponent overextends, introduces weaknesses in the pawn structure before developing the requisite pieces. I think it was still defensible here, even after he lost the d pawn, even though it didn't look very good. I think that bishop e6 was a much better play than what actually happened, which was capturing here, enabling the sacrifice, and then, I mean, we saw where it went from there. But like the mentality, the philosophy of collapsing on f7, even in a situation where it doesn't necessarily look, I mean, to the untrained eye, basically you looked at this position and from here you thought, I can collapse on f7 because of the weaknesses that my opponent generated in their structure. And they didn't play the moves that they needed to play to defend the position, right? And so, like, that's a good instinct, thinking, how do I get to f7? You know, let's start by attacking the d-pawn. D-pawn's defended. Let's remove the defender. I mean, it's a very, like, the process, the creative process to getting there was correct, even if in terms of, like, the calculations, there were some inaccuracies. That's what I have to say.